What if the very way you try to protect your heart is exactly what keeps real love out? Today, I'm unmasking one of the deepest intimacy wounds, dishonesty, through the lens of the 59th pattern of evolutionary change. This is not about lying to others, it's about the lies we tell ourselves to avoid being hurt again. First, I'll start with a parable, the village of shimmering walls. At this point, please close your eyes and visualize the story I am about to share. Long ago, there was a village surrounded by walls made of glass. The people inside were taught to never remove their veils. Transparency is dangerous, the elders would say. Your heart, if seen, will be taken from you. And so they lived, each person wrapped in layers of fabric and silence, speaking only in practical tones, never revealing too much. But a child named Kalen was born differently. His laughter came freely, his tears ran openly. The village called him the Bear One. His parents warned him, hide your feelings. The world outside the walls is not safe. One day, Kalen wandered too close to the village gate and saw a woman standing outside. She had no veil. Her eyes were kind, but her face was marked with scars. She smiled gently and said, "You are not broken, you are radiant." Kalen was confused. How can she see me? He thought. How can she love what is exposed? That night, he removed one of his veils. Kalen began unveiling more of himself, not with force, but with presence. Some villagers turned away. Others began to question their own coverings. Over time, the glass walls began to shimmer less. Some cracked, and in the place where the veil once weighed heavy, a softness arose in Kalen's chest. Not weakness, but power. He had discovered the secret. Transparency was not the danger, hiding was. Now that you've heard the parable, let's explore its meaning. The 59th pattern of change and evolution holds one of the most ancient and essential human fears, the fear that connection will lead to pain. We protect ourselves, we manipulate, we withdraw, we seduce, we lie, not just to others, but to ourselves. This specific challenge governs the genetic coding of intimacy, sexual union, vulnerability, and energetic transparency. It is deeply tied to the evolutionary impulse to bond, to dissolve the barrier between self and other. At its shadow frequency, this specific challenge manifests as dishonesty, which is not simply lying, but the emotional refusal to be seen. It is the mask, the half-truth, the performance. There are two expressions of this fear: the repressive, which is exclusion, where one must pull away to stay safe, and the reactive, intrusion, where one must push in to avoid being abandoned. Both are responses to trauma, often ancestral, sometimes generational, and always cellular. At this level, the body stores the fear of intimacy as a survival mechanism. The complementary shadow to dishonesty is the shadow of victimization and its fear that life is out to get us. It has the blame game cycle, which in its repressive nature is complaining, and its reactive nature is blaming. So you can see how the two feed off each other to instill the belief that no one can be trusted and connection will only bring us pain. For those interested in doing deeper personal alchemy and wish to have a means of accelerating an understanding of shadow work, over the last 3 to 5 years, I have collected a wealth of information from various esoteric systems, namely the I Ching, human design, gene keys, the chakra systems, and astrology, as well as integrating them with the human genetic code. And in this chart, you will find the details of all the different shadows, all the different fears, the specific fears that fuel those specific shadows, all 64, all in relationship to each codon. And in this wheel, you will find 4 legends on each corner because they can't all fit on one corner or one side to make it a nice, evenly balanced square. So here is the statements from each zodiac sign. So you can see. And then we have the legend for each chakra. You'll notice that there are more than 7, and because there are more than 7 because it is including the spleen as a means to detect threats. So there's an intuitional center there. There's also a center of willpower called the thyroid, because when we are born, the thyroid is literally almost, if not as big as our heart. So we have to accommodate that. And on the other side of this, you will also find an understanding of the I Ching, the hexagram system, the different trigrams, the relationship to the three-dimensional plane, the yin and the yang, and how each of the 6 lines are affiliated with different archetypes, thanks to the human design and or gene key system. And lastly, you will also find the human genetic sequence chart for all the amino acids associated with the human genetic code. But furthermore, you will also find in this chart all the different zodiacs, all 12, mixed with the human design gene key chart. Bear with me, my graphics card is not as fast as other people's on their computer, but you will see all the different fears, all the different shadows, and how they relate to each chakra in those colorful little dots. So you can see how it affects each energy center in the body and how each of them have their own repressive and reactive statements because there are 6 expressions in each challenge. Therefore, you will also find those 6 lines in there, all with their own repressive and reactive statements, their associated dilemmas from that specific shadow, which eventually will clear up, the gift from making the right choices regularly and practicing that gift with its own unique self-empowerment statement. So as you learn to vacate the trapped emotions such as sadness, fear, anger, shame, and guilt, and you will reorient towards true self-alignment and honoring the intuition and inner authority that you possess, it will lead you towards the grace specific to that challenge. So if you would like to learn more about this and or you would like to download this file for your own personal means of translating your specific challenges in the human design system or in the gene key system, it is all there for you. All you have to go is to my website and download this PDF file. It's about 50 megabytes in size. I hope you enjoy this and hope you enjoy this brief glimpse into this massive PDF with all the details about all the specific challenges you'll have in your personal self-realization path. In order to find this PDF, a link will be found down below in the description of the YouTube video. When using that elaborate and vast chart of information, you can use the human design apps found in the App Store on Google Play so that you can choose whichever speaks to you most. And as you choose whichever human design app works best for you, you can then use that towards the chart. So you get your information and your numbers. And then after that, you can use the chart as reference. For example, I use the human design app, which helps me see the specific numbers that I need to see in the top right-hand corner. The red are the unconscious. These are the ones that were imprinted when the soul decided to remain anchored in the body about 90 days before you were born, between the second and the third trimester. The black numbers indicate the conscious, more aware challenges that you know you have in your current life, based on your survival challenges and your adversities currently going on in your life. You can also find that same application in the Human Design App Store for iPhone and or iOS before you start using the chart that you have purchased online. Thank you very much. And if you ever need more information on this and you wanted a free consultation in understanding the current challenges in your life and how it relates to human design, feel free to reach out through the links below. You can also visit thegenekeys.com. There, you will also find a different kind of chart. It relates to the same challenges and same numerical sequences as found in the I Ching and Human Design. And there you'll be able to find a free profile link where you can then enter in your personal information in this field and then have a look at your specific gene key profiles and understand your genus sequence, your Venus sequence in opening up your heart, your love sequence, prosperity, and finding inner harmony. Thank you for watching this short introduction into the Wheel of Evolutionary Change and the chart that I've shown you in brief. And hopefully through those apps and through this PDF, you will find a way to decode the challenges you face and understand how to make the best choices for you and everyone you were meant to impact positively in your life. Now back to the shadow work and the evolutionary change in this video. The shadow of dishonesty is not a flaw. It's part of our biological evolution. It's developed to protect the human nervous system during times of betrayal, abuse, and deep energetic instability. When trust was violated in our past, whether individual or collectively, this specific gene coded a defense strategy. And like all shadows, it has an intelligent function to keep the heart closed until the soul is ready to open. To keep the heart closed until the soul is ready to open it. In the old world, vulnerability meant death. In the new world, it means life. What are we witnessing now? In this generation is a planetary call to transparency, a re-invitation to merge, not blindly, but consciously. This 59th evolutionary pattern is part of an evolutionary bridge from the world of separation to a world of unity. On the spiritual path, dishonesty is not just hiding from others, it's hiding from the Creator. It's the refusal to say, "Here I am," to the divine mirror within ourselves. We are not meant to stay in the shadow. We are meant to feel it, to meet it, to see that the energy and emotion that we call fear is the exact doorway that love must walk through, not around, through. Every wall we've ever built, every mask we've ever worn, every closeness we've avoided or forced, all of it was our nervous system trying to stay alive, but now we're not just here to survive, we're here to ascend. Ascension, as described in this specific gene key or human design component, is not rising above the world. It's becoming so transparent that the divine shines through us effortlessly. The ascended grace of transparency, a state where there's nothing left to hide and therefore nothing left to fear. In this space, all connections become sacred. Love becomes natural, and intimacy becomes the language of light. This is not a teaching of quick fixes. It's a journey, a remembering, a returning. And it starts by simply recognizing, am I afraid to be seen? And that's okay. From that single act of honesty, this shadow and this evolutionary pattern of change begins to soften, because on the other side of dishonesty lies intimacy. And on the other side of intimacy lies the grace of transparency. I hope that this leads you down a path to healing your heart and your gut sacral center, so you can feel your reproductive energy center begin to emerge with light, with flame, to burn brightly and provide the courage to be open with others about your pain and the hurt that we've all experienced when trying to connect with others, but to allow that to heal so that the heart can become stronger and the gut can become trusted to guide us through better internal relationships so that we become transparent with ourselves and the different parts of our psyche. And when that happens, we can foster transparent, beautiful, intimate connections with others, whether that be friends, family, or romantic partners, even possibly in business. Thank you for watching this video in its entirety. Down below in the description, you'll find more about this shadow. You'll also find a means to contact me to get a free consultation. Just simply email me in the link below. You'll also find my website so you can learn more about me, what I do, how I do it, and why. I also hold 3 different support groups for 3 important areas of self-development. First one is divination systems, where we explore all these shadows, all the gifts that come from transmuting them, and all the graces that we can allow to integrate so that we can fully realize our potential and exude the grace that we were always meant to. The next meetup group that I have is emotional intelligence and mastery. So you can create honest dialogue with your emotions and then have honest discussions with your true sense of self. So it can reassure the survival consciousness or ego to trust it and know that the path forward and the emotions can come along for the journey in support of the manifestation of true connection that is healthy with others. And then there's emotional trauma release meetup, where I hold a safe space for people that want to allow their emotions to surface up, to be felt, and to be released, especially from those trapped ones from the past where we didn't know how to process our trauma. And that way, as we alleviate and let go, we create the vacancy so that we can become more intimate with ourselves, come home to who we truly are, and then when we finally discover that and trust those signals within our heart and our gut, we will be able to use that intelligence from in the core of our body as the decision area that the mind can honor, and thus create the heaven on earth in a way the prophets before have paved the way so that we can create it. Thank you very much for the time you spent in watching this video. I hope it provided great value, and it also provided a sense of upliftment and levity to your current challenges regarding dishonesty and victimization. God bless you on your journey. Namaste and good life to you all.